I love that show.
Dead Baby Bear is crazy. Like,
dude.
Sean and Kathleen are.
Shout
out to those two.
I saw Sean. I don't know if he thought I was making fun of him or like if I was fucking around. But I was like, hey man, like because we were just talking about like the space and how nice it is.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, it's so much better to just be able to like show up and be like, hello, like just walk into a place and grab. Because I was talking about how to cart like our soundboard around my old podcast. Wherever we were going that day, I had to like bring all the shit with me.
Yeah.
Or if it was at my house, I had to like be like, okay, you guys sit at the dinner table. I'm gonna go get all this stuff and set up real quick.
Yeah. It's nice to have a little studio.
Yeah,
it's a dream come true.
We were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, man, you guys rock like Dead Baby Bear there too, hey? And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's a fucking dope podcast. And he was like, oh, we have like whatever. He's like, oh, we have like 60 listeners. And I was like, hey, listen, lying. Man, me and those 59 people love that fucking show, okay?
And such a down player.
I don't know if he thought I was chirping him or like what, but he was like, oh, haha. And I was like, no, I mean it. Like I listen all the time.
Yeah, they get more than that. I have the analytics.
Yeah, but he's probably going on like we do.
They're both
our
like,
YouTube views. I always go on YouTube views.
Oh, YouTube views we don't get.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the same. Like Sterling's, I think is the same. His like podcast is dope, but it's like he's got like 30 YouTube views or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like who? I've never been someone who watches podcasts on YouTube.
Right, but
I know there's a whole generation that does.
That's the analytics say that 66% of podcast consumers consume through YouTube.
Yeah, and not true for the two podcasts that I have.
It's because they're all watching JRE.
Yeah. In fact, this podcast, I mean, it'd be nice to have some consumers.
Yeah. Get on, come on, consumers.
Yeah, whichever stream.
It's weird that we're trying to get them through the podcast. Yeah. We're trying to get listeners onto our podcast through our failing podcast.
Come on now, listeners. Hey, it's Halloween just passed. What did you do for Halloween?
I did. I headlined Yuck Yucks, but more importantly, it is the first day of November, and I'm doing Sober November with a beer in my hand.
Okay, Sober November because you're too cool for Sober October.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Sober October, I did it last year and it was fine, but there's too much stuff going on in October. It's a really fun month.
And you guys, like when you do the Joe Rogan Sober October, there's a bunch of other stuff you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
No, I'm over here trying to live my life.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, what better year than this one? You know what I mean? To just like, well, you're not doing anything else.
That's true.
So yeah, there's like a workout every day. I don't know if my friends that I'm doing it with are doing it. We kind of did this one.
Oh, so you are doing like a Rogan style?
I am. I'm just going to do the same thing I did last year where I just do like try and do an hour of writing a day and then go to the gym every day and then no weed, no liquor. But I didn't get a send-off. I kind of got a send-off, but I was headlining Yuck Yucks, and it was a super fun show. But I had to work like in the mornings, and also Yuck Yucks is far away. It's way on the north side, so
super
I had to
far,
drive.
Scary side of town.
Yeah, and Edmonton Transit is horrible. So like you have to drive to Yuck Yucks.
Oh yeah.
So I was headlining,
with the doors locked.
Yeah.
As you approach.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out to Northside Edmonton.
Yeah, beautiful club, amazing comedy club.
Oh, it's wild. I remember the first time I ever walked in there. I walked through like someone who'd been there for gambling for a long time.
CD casino.
I walked through like their sweat stand show. I was like, holy fuck. You walk in and it's like, oh my God, a comedy club. Like amazing.
Yeah, a real
It's the classic comedy club.
It's honestly like the most comedy club, and no offense to the comic strip, but it is the most comedy club that I've ever been at, in that they have a green room with a bathroom that is attached to the stage where you walk out from a curtain. Yeah. Like it's like really that like...
Yeah. It's the little things that make it seem like extra professional or extra like...
Not even professional, but just like comedy, like a genuine comedy club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can tell that it is made for stand-up comedians to come here and tell jokes.
When you think of stand-up comedy, you think of that type of... Either that... Yeah. That's pretty much like the classic look.
Yeah. It's 100%.
Which is sweet. I just hate that it's so far away.
Yeah.
Because I never go there. Far away. And it's so far away.
Yeah. But anyway, so I had to drive, so I didn't get a drink, and so I did the show, and we had a really fun set. I was working with Ken Hicks and Chrissy Stark,
nice,
which was cool, and it was Halloween, so I was worried that we weren't gonna sell, but we did. We had a. I don't think we were full, but we were packed.
Sweet. And do you dress up for a Halloween show?
No, I did last year because it was amateur night, and so I only had to do like 15.
Yeah.
But if you got to do like 45 to an hour, and you're in costume after like 7 minutes
silly,
of it,
probably. Yeah.
You're like, okay, well now I just have to act like I'm a normal guy because I'm trying to do relatable material, but I'm dressed as Albert Einstein. Yeah. So anyways, when I grew up in the 90s, everyone's like 30s. You grew up in the 30s.
Stick to your character.
Yeah, you're like I don't know.
Well, I'm doing 2 characters right now.
Yeah, like, here's Matt Mellon. Actually, this was really funny. Christopher Walken, he does a really good Walken impression.
Okay.
And so he dressed up as Walken for Halloween once, and it fell on a Sunday, so we're doing the Druid. And this was like back in the heyday of the Druid, and there was like 30 motherfuckers on the show, and like it was just like a 3-hour show, but we were all getting wasted, and like it was more of a party than a comedy show.
Yeah.
But everyone was watching and paying attention.
Sweet.
And so we're all there fucking wasted, and he does Walken, and he goes up, does like a bang on Walken impression, like dressed as Walken, like is absolutely nailing it. And then he's like, all right, now I'm going to do an impression of Matt Mellon. It's like as Christopher Walken started doing an impression of comedian Matt Mellon.
That's a good transition.
And so he just did the rest of his set as Walken doing an impression of him.
Jesus. That's layers to his game.
It was so funny, but it was like, I guess
guy.
I could do that at like minute 45, be like, all right, or a minute like 15, but okay, for the next 40 minutes, I'm Santa Claus doing an impression of comedian Alex Fortin.
Comedian Alex Fortin.
Enjoy.
Podcast host and comedian Alex Fortin.
Yeah, or I thought about wearing something that I could like do a bit and then rip off and like throw in the audience or whatever, or do something stupid with. But then I was like, but I have to open on a character, and like I hate me and Kian and Brad were talking about this earlier. They were recording their podcast. Fuck, we have a lot of friends with good podcasts.
A lot of friends. What's the name of theirs again?
Your parents watched this.
Your parents watched this.
Super fucking funny.
They watch old movies.
Oh
and
my
react.
God. It's a 21-year-old and a 22-year-old or some shit like that. They're like young and they're watching movies from the 80s and then like asking what would be controversial about it today and like asking if they should do a remake of it. Bro, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
it's bananas. And they work really hard on it, actually. They do like Photoshop. It looks stupid because they like want it.
They want it to. Yeah,
like it's like Hot Rod. You know what I mean? Like they work hard on making it look like an attempted lame. So they do like hours of Photoshop to do these like stupid layovers that go with their conversation. Yeah. It's fucking. It kills me.
That's so good.
But anyways, I was talking to them earlier, and where was I going? Oh yeah, we're talking about like when you open a show, like a bomb always starts at the beginning of a set. It's like if you're doing 15 minutes, you don't crush for 11 and then bomb for 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your bomb always starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, basically, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to like come out in a character and do some like totally untried material or like whatever. And then if it doesn't work, then I'm like, okay, well, fuck, now I'm bombing. And then I have to come out of a bomb while trying to get out of a costume and then getting into normal bits. And I was just like,
it's
fuck all that. I'm just wearing a shirt and a leather jacket.
Performing on Halloween, like that's 2 levels of perform.
Yeah, it was full moon, blue moon.
Oh my God!
Good.
I did the scariest thing I could think of.
What
for Halloween? I did this. I was like, what would scare the shit out of 25-year-old Jim?
Like the hooker's vagina.
Drank at home by myself. Watched a couple fights.
Nice.
Man, Anderson Silva.
We had different fears as 25-year-olds.
Look, as a 25-year-old, I'm like, Jim, come on, man. At least wear a wig or some shit.
That's so funny. At 25, you're like, my biggest fear is bringing home alone. I'm like, I hope I don't get an STD from looking strange.
Yeah, I mean, we're on different.
I don't want to get a face STD.
We're on different journeys, and that's never been more clear than it is right now. Licking strange. Oh, mama.
Oh.
Man,
Anderson, still clean, 100%. Shooting a Hondo.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Attaboy.
Never been ill. Never been pregnant.
Never been dick ill.
Woo!
Nice. Anderson Silva fought this weekend. I don't know how much you know or care.
Did he kick himself in the leg again?
No.
That's good.
No. He got knocked out though, and it's really sad to watch a guy. Like I was just thinking, and Dana White was talking about it, but it's just I just as a guy who's loved kind of whether it was like boxing or MMA, kind of generally throughout my life, you always see fighters fight too long.
Oh, that's the worst one too.
It's the worst, man.
Other sports aren't so bad because like they still have their records, and Yager will still pot a couple, and he's a fourth liner,
a
and
first
whatever.
baseman. You can still sort of do the job.
Yeah, like you can tell they're getting sleepy out there, but like they're not fucking slinging like they were when they were 27.
Well, like
a fighter,
Anderson Silva's 45.
That's the thing. A fighter, you're like, ooh, that's a lose. Like that's a all or nothing sport.
Yeah. Yeah, like fighting, like, in some ways fighting is very like poetic, like the sweet science and all that. But oh man, it's tough to watch a guy just like, you're like, oh my God, if you 10 fights ago you were legend.
Yeah.
And you still are, but like I think he's lost like 8 of his last 9 fights or something like that.
Yeah, like, man.
Oh, he's fought good guys, but he got knocked out this weekend, and it was just like,
I think GSP did it right. GSP got one of those like champion wins, and he was like, this is the end of my journey. He like understood what that win was. He was like, that was me defending the title, not me beating a guy.
Yeah.
And I need to step away from the sport now. And like he
very much became a guy who would just outpoint.
Yeah.
And just kind of you can't really fault that.
But his last one wasn't even like it was. I still think that he won that last fight.
It was very close.
Was it with the Diego brothers? Right, one of the Diego brothers.
The Diaz brothers.
Diaz brothers. Yeah, that was racist.
Yeah.
I just went with whatever Spanish last name.
One of those guys.
You know what I'm saying? Dora the Diego.
Dora the fighter. Would you be interested in Khabib versus GSP?
Not now.
That's what apparently is happening.
That's stupid.
I know.
Khabib's going to crush him. He's going to murder him.
But like he might not. And
he will.
Even that would suck too. Like either way, it's like
it's just gonna be fucking it's Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yeah,
because
which happened like a decade later than would have been.
That's
sweet.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Khabib's gonna be. This happened a decade too late because Khabib's gonna be trying to fucking kill him like Pacquiao was trying to do, and just hitting him with everything he's got, and then GSP is just gonna be playing the point game.
Apparently,
and then be like, look at the scorecard. I fucking won, dude.
That's true.
That's how it's gonna end. It's gonna be exactly like what happened with Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Yeah. I know. Apparently, Khabib's potentially coming back, but yeah, it sucked to see Anderson Silva fight too long, and he might even try and continue fighting, but he's 45, and that's. I think Dana White was like, unless you're defending yourself or your family, no 45-year-old should be fighting.
Yeah, dude. Did you listen to Roy? No. Whoever was supposed to fight Tyson.
Roy Jones Jr.
Was it Roy Jones?
Yeah. They are still fighting, apparently.
Did you listen to him on Rogan?
No.
Dude, it's an amazing podcast.
Yeah?
But he stopped professionally fighting like a year and a half ago at the age of 50.
That's wild.
Like, and he still trains and fight. Like he does. He said he like is in the gym all like fully fighting.
Yeah.
Because he talked about it on Rogan. I'm not gonna.
I like how that's been like everyone's like, oh, it's an exhibition, and both guys are like,
I'm gonna kill you.
It's like, we're not wearing headgear. We're not like you don't really exhibish against Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Or Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, or Roy Jones Jr. for that matter. Yeah.
That was one thing they talked about a bunch on Rogan is like everyone forgets how fucking good Roy Jones Jr. is at fighting.
Yeah.
Dude, I played Fight Night. He was like the 99 overall. He was the Tony Hawk of EA Sports Fight Night.
Well, he's a guy that like boxing heads would know, whereas Mike Tyson, people know him from all kinds of things now, right? He's just like there's some people who only know him from The Hangover.
Yeah.
And then they found out he was a boxer.
Yeah.
Which is
so funny.
Crazy.
They're like, that guy with the face tattoo?
Yeah.
From The Hangover? You're
I love that guy.
You mean Michael Tyson?
Michael Tyson, the baddest mother, and he's hitting the bags pretty hard.
He's dangerous
in those videos.
Holy.
Yeah. That's scary. Yeah. But Roy Jones,
Roy Jones is also deadly.
I just love that. I guess
he held three titles at the same time. He was the best boxer in the whole world for a fucking 40-pound weight radius. That's
crazy.
Bananas.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. I know boxing is wild how they climb up and down.
Insane. And like what that does to your body is crazy, because they talked about that too, is that he was basically fighting at like 0% or like whatever, it was like 7% body fat, but at like 180, and then he dropped to 155. So he's like, I was losing straight muscle. He's like, I had to lose muscle to make weight. And
that's so
like,
bad.
Like, do you know how crazy that is? And he's like, so I had to still be trying to push as much weight as I could, but I had to deteriorate my muscles.
Oh man.
And so he's like, he was just running infinitely. Like he just ran for as long as he was awake, basically.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Downstairs in my building here, there's a little gym, a little workout room. And there's like 2 treadmills, and I haven't been able to get either of them to work. Like the fucking not. And today, I don't know I'm not sure what I did differently. You know, when you're like looking at a problem and you're like, I've touched every piece of this. I don't know what.
And then you just do the first thing again.
That's exactly what it was today. It turned on and I was like, what? I was at the point where I was going to, like, if I saw someone use it, go ask them. And I knew it was going to be something stupid, but it's something I did like a million times, and it worked today. So
perfect.
I guess I have to retrace my entire steps.
Okay, you're a runner.
I used to run lots.
Yeah, you got a lot of, what is that, a dozen at least marathon badges over there? Or race badges?
There's a bunch of them there.
Did you ever do any of that crazy shit? Like that Mike Tyson-y, Roy Jones Jr., like, oh, I got to make weight, or I got to make a time, or I have to do, like, did you do any of that kind of stuff?
I did like really long distance.
Like, did you do like extra long to train? Well, you like, if you're like, okay, I have to do like 50K, so I'm going to try and run like 150 just for fun.
Well, there's like a whole, there's like a whole like workout plan or like run schedule to get yourself to
a marathon
to work. Yeah. To whatever distance it is. So normally, like, I think like you would run, there was one day where I ran, I think in one day of training, like 40 or 50. I know, it was crazy. I used to, I did a 50-kilometer run in the mountains and a 50-mile in like a very hilly region of southeast Alberta.
What's that like? Because the longest I've done is 20.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing about it is, like, your body can kind of keep going at sort of like some indefinite pace. Yeah. So my goal was always to just like try to lock into a pace that I thought I could keep for hours. Yeah. Kind of thing. And so, and it was that, like, when I was running today, like you get like little second, third, fourth wins as you go. And
okay, so that does keep it, because that's the thing, is basically at 20K,
mm-hmm.
I finally saw what they meant by the wall, basically. Is like, I finally realized, because before that, like, if you're in shape and you're just like continually training, you never really push yourself at any time to the point where you're like, oh, I can't stop now because I have to finish. If you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking done, you kind of stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
like when you really get to that point where your body, because you know what I mean? When you're training, you can push to the point where you're like, oh my God, I think I'm going to throw up or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you never really get to that point where you're like, I'm fucking done with this. And then you hit that brain thing where you're like, no, we ain't.
Yeah. Nope. Like, yeah. So in a lot of these races, I used to like just sort of grin and bear the first, 5-10 kilometers. Cause I was like, once I get to that point, I'll get my little boost again or whatever. Yeah. But my goal was, I sort of set out to like find my wall, and I never did.
Not one ever?
No, I got hurt after my 50 miler and I just got like out of practice because I hurt my leg and I couldn't run for a few months. And then when I got back, when I was ready to race or ready to run again, it was just like, I'm so far from where I was. And that was really disheartening.
That's crazy.
Because like you start out, and then after a certain point, you're kind of just like running on some kind of autopilot. Particularly if you're on one of these fun races that's like through the mountains or through the bush or whatever. But
I guess any of it, you never pushed for like a time or anything. Like did you do any of that?
Oh yeah, I mean you try and but that's all in the weeks that you're preparing for it. You basically pick what time you want to finish at, and then find the schedule that like should get you there. If I run this many kilometers a week, by that point I should be able to run in this time.
Oh, you never just went like, I'm going to go as fast as I possibly fucking can.
Well, no, because it's a different it's a different mentality for like long distance endurance.
But you know what I mean? Like you never just looked at like,
you have to stop yourself from doing that because
that's so funny.
Because you have to stop yourself from like starting a race like trying to like, oh, I'm gonna kill everyone in the first 5K and then fade.
Yeah.
So you have
even picking the pace. Like say you ran like whatever, you were running at like 6 miles an hour for 50K. You were never just like, fuck it, we're doing 7.2.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, like you go all up and down throughout the race. Like sometimes you're going uphill, sometimes you're going downhill. Like
I know, but like what I'm trying to say is like did you ever set a goal that like was beyond what you knew you could achieve just to see how close you could get to it?
I mean, I guess like I would have a goal in mind and try to hit that, but I would like aim.
But there's never like
high.
You never did like like what's a decent time for like a half marathon?
For like an hour and a half, like under 2 hours.
Okay, so if you ran one like. Your best one was like what was your fastest?
I think I did like 1:45 once.
Okay. So did you ever after that be like, I'm going to run this one in an hour and 30?
Mm-hmm, except I moved up to marathons after that. I once I got to 21.
Oh, you just added
once
distance.
I got to 21K, I was like, that's not it. So I just kept going.
See, I did the opposite. I kept going. I wanted to see how fast I could run a mile.
Yeah, no, I get that, but my goal was
how long you could go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
So I moved up to marathons, and then I like improved a couple times, and then was like, this isn't it either. Like I can still keep like because
so I was like as fast as you wanted to go. You're like, let's put more distance on it.
Mm-hmm. Because running and stuff is like I've always thought of it as like you're like one link to like every human that's ever existed is running. And especially like through the bush and shit, you get a little vibe of like I'm connected with my ancestors, right?
Bro, there's have you ever like ran through like tight brush and that like where you're watching where your feet are going?
Yeah, dude.
And you're like,
oh man, the single track is the best.
Oh,
yeah. The best. So once I got to like I ran a few marathons, then I was like, okay, like I had done a few like team ultras where I was just running one leg of it. And those are all like quite often in the mountains, so you're climbing and like it's like pretty grueling. And I did a couple of those and it was like, okay. I was like, I think I can probably do like I'll try an ultra. So I did 50K, and then when I finished that one, I was like I always picture people at the end of marathons and stuff, and they're like fucking like barfing and, but I would always finish and be like, I could keep going. Yeah. So then I did 50K in the mountains, which was like, I mean, counts for more than 50K because you're going fucking up and down. And then I did a 50 miler, and I fucked up
Where was that?
Cooking Lake, which is like.
Okay, what's prep for that? Is that the longest distance? 50 miles? That's the biggest you've ever
there's
gone?
anything.
No,
for me, yeah. So the prep for that is just like runs of varying length throughout the week with generally one long run.
What about like your diet? Like what about?
I've never been great at the diet thing, so I did everything despite not really caring too much about my diet and nutrition and stuff like that.
What about like working out? Like, did you have to go be like, okay, I need to do squats to make sure that I can do like the mountain runs and stuff? Or were you just like, I'm going to run?
Yeah, I would do, well, I would do stairs. I would do some weights and stuff, but I wanted to run more than I wanted to do anything else.
Okay. So
I had a couple days in the gym. Like when I was like training hard for those long distance, I was training like 5 or 6 times a week.
Are you solo? Like, do you have a coach for this?
No, just I had someone helping me actually with like workouts and some of the distance training.
Who?
A friend of mine named Julianne, who was like a college hockey player and personal trainer with Tight Fitness.
I did not think. I thought you were like, she is a personal trainer with tight ass.
No, Tight Fitness. I was shouting out the brand.
Something really like with tight, and then I was like, where the fuck is he going with this?
No, man. Tight Fitness.
Okay, I'm glad that went that direction.
Yeah. But so I did it all despite like really not taking care of my nutrition in the slightest, which I think is an even, in some ways even more impressive.
That is more impressive to me.
When I fucked up my leg and then I got 2 out of Like I couldn't train for like a couple months, and then I was just like, fuck, I have such a long way to come back, and I didn't really come back ever. I've had lots of mini comebacks over the years, but
lots of little
almosts. Yeah. But after I did 50 miles, like immediately after the race, I was fine. Like a few hours later, my legs were sore.
Yeah.
but like my goal after that was to try 100.
Yeah.
100K.
That's sick. I had a teacher that did 100K.
It's because it's such a mental game. I think we were kind of talking about that like 10 minutes ago. It's a very mental game, and at that point, like you're kind of just on autopilot, and you know that you can keep going, and it's really just about like continuing to move forward.
Yeah.
When it's the very, very long distance, like you just gotta like you sort of turn off, and you sort of just get in the vibe or get in the mode or whatever, and you're just going.
Yeah, it's super meditative.
Yeah, totally.
Every coach, I ran distance a little. I did cross country running in like elementary school. And then we had a conditioning coach like throughout football. And then my dad was a runner and stuff. And every single one of them basically was like, when you get to that, like when you're tired and when you don't know what to do, you keep your pace with your breath. And it's like,
yeah, exactly.
And the trick that I learned, my dad taught me was in, out, out, in, out, out. And that's how your steps should go. So it's thump, 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 thump.
Yeah. It's fun when you start like digging into the, you know, the little nuances of it.
Yeah.
And you can like, oh, some people do it this way, and oh, some people try this.
But it's really interesting because the thing that is like the core point of meditation is focusing on your breath and being like, fuck the rest of the world, fuck what's going on, close your eyes, relax. Only think about your breath. Your breath will keep you alive. It'll keep you through everything. Nothing will go wrong as long as you focus on your breath. And running is literally the exact same. It's like shut everything else
totally
and just think, as long as air's going in and air's going out, I'm okay.
But also like listen to music for an hour to distract yourself, and then don't listen to music for an hour to distract yourself. Just find different ways. But it's funny because when I got like fully into running, I learned this whole, you know, way of breathing and stuff. And I spent so much time stretching and finding new stretches and stuff. And then someone was like, you should go to a yoga class. And I was like, holy shit, I've been doing all this stuff.
I have been going to yoga class.
I've been doing some off-brand yoga on my own time.
Yeah.
Because it was just a lot of like figuring out how to stretch to hit whatever muscle you were you needed to hit. Yeah. And sometimes you just going into weird positions like, holy shit, there's a name for this. Wow.
Yeah, like, whoa, I've done this before.
Yeah,
it does feel good right here. I do feel that stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time I went into a yoga class. This is going to sound douchey as fuck, but I don't care.
So stop for 1 second. I just said stop for 1 second because, you know, I just felt like it.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you saying, Alex?
So
I wanted to see if you would listen. That's all.
I do well with commands.
Good. We know that now.
Yeah, it's going to sound douchey, but I don't really care. Because everyone used to talk about like hot yoga and like, oh, it's such a it's such a hard exercise. It's actually so good for your body. Like I sweat so much and it's so hard.
Yeah.
And it was like I was in the middle of training for running a Tough Mudder, and it was like I was doing all the stretches and like doing like hours in the gym, like literally like hour-long runs and then an hour and a half on the weights and then like an hour of fucking stretching and shit.
Yeah,
and
going for it.
Like really training hard. And then I like went to a yoga class for the first time. It was hot yoga, and I was like, "This is the easiest bullshit. Like I could do that. I do this on my own. Like what are you idiots talking about?"
Yeah,
it's so funny because I was just like, "Oh," and then I realized it was like, "Oh yeah, it's because I've literally just been accidentally doing this the whole time."
Yeah,
I was like 22, and I was like, "This fuck you guys. Like, oh, yoga's so hard. Me. Like
I've just been accidentally doing this for like just calling it stretching."
Yeah.
That's what us men call it, stretching.
So funny. And then like also we did like yoga bullshit in football a little bit. Like we had one of our captains. He was just like, he's one of those guys. He was like, our captains always led stretches. Like that was one of the things when we were like 14 or whatever to get us militarized. They would put some of us in charge of the rest of us.
That's right.
And then leave us alone unattended. And But anyway, so they would put the captains.
That's when weird stuff happens on boys' teams.
No, well, we'd be in a field outside near a street. So they didn't leave us unattended. Like they're like, "Are we leaving you unattended and turn the lights off?" No, it was for stretching.
Well, we played different sports, I guess.
Yeah, we would do stretching, and then the coaches would go figure out like whatever the coach plan was, and like, all right, captains, you get everyone do the stretching, and the warm up was like the captain's job, and one of our captains was just that guy. So when it was his thing to lead stretches, he'd be like, all right, we're doing yoga, and then he'd like go into the downward dog and like roll us all over and get our fucking legs up and whatever. Yeah. So like we did it in football, and then like obviously kept any of the stretches that I liked forever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I've never been able to take a male yoga instructor seriously. No. Not that again, they know what they're doing. They're like very good at it. Yeah. The ones that I was, but I was just like, I prefer a female yoga instructor, a female yogi. Seems more believable coming from a woman, I think.
Yeah, it just seems like something she actually has aspired to do for a while.
Yeah, not
the dude like, seems like he did it to get pussy.
Yeah, or like he was like gonna be a star some other sport, but he hurt himself, and this is like what in rehab. This is what he got really good at.
That's so funny. No, I think it's a noble like thing. I just think that like as a young boy, you don't grow up thinking about it.
I certainly didn't. I was at a show. I was at the Black Dog on Thursday. And I hadn't done that for a while. They do a show up at the Wooftop now.
Ooh, I heard there was an incident.
I think you're thinking of something else, which I'm not at liberty to talk about. But
I'm not at liberty.
No, what I want to talk about. No, we can talk about. But the funniest shit was I was sitting there waiting for my turn, and I look over, and like the Wooftop is kind of classy. Like the basement is dingy. The main floor is kind of dingy, and I feel like they'd be okay with me saying that. Like it's kind of
that was the vibe of the basement.
It's the vibe.
It was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool dingy, not gross dingy.
The upstairs they've got it all covered off, and it's like nice.
Yeah,
right. And I saw there's two like white haired like two older people in the audience, a man and his wife, and
a man and a wife,
a husband and a wife, a man.
There's men, and then there's wives and girls.
Well, they're old and from Alberta, so I'm just saying what they probably feel. So anyways, the woman is sitting there, and I'm like, what is she doing? She pulls out a full baguette. Like in a bag, and like the bags are crinkly, and it's like,
where did she pull it out from?
Just from like her bag, like from under the table. I see this baguette coming out. And like he rips off some, gives it to husband, and then rips off some, gives it to herself. And I'm just like, what am I seeing? Like this. So I go on stage and I'm like, man, this place, they used to be kind of dingy. It's kind of a dive bar feel or whatever. And I just came up here and I just saw two people passing a fucking baguette. And because of the lights were on me, I couldn't see if they were reacting. So I just pretended they weren't reacting and decided to call out the fact that she also had a beret on.
Oh, did she actually?
She did. And like a frumpy shirt. I was like, man, these people just came from like a wine and cheese tasting to come see.
This came from France directly.
This is directly from France.
She has one of those long cigarettes. She's like, you do not smoke on the patio here?
I was like, motherfucker, a baguette? I've never seen.
I also love that they eat like Aladdin and his monkey. She's just breaking off pieces of bread and they're munching it dry at a table.
It's a whole Safeway bag full of stuff.
They're just dipping it in fucking oil and vinaigrette at the table.
Yeah, I'm like, I know they don't serve food here, but like, I don't think you can have a picnic. I don't think you're allowed to just like have a picnic.
I have brought some prosciutto.
Yeah.
Can we have some sausage and cheese? You're okay, Monsieur Comédien?
I was like, man, you couldn't have picked a louder fancy food.
Oh,
couldn't believe that shit.
They rode away on bicycles with a big front tire and a basket. Yeah. Enchanté, mon amour.
Yeah, it was wild. I was like, yeah, did you guys just get zapped here from another time?
Is this
Jean-Luc and some French girl name?
Marie Antoinette.
Marie.
Well, that's a famous one, isn't it?
That's a famous one, yeah. Let them eat baguettes.
Geneviève.
Yeah, that was cool though. I don't talk to the crowd much, so it's fun to like rip on them a little bit. And then I asked this guy what his name was, and he said Sam, and I was like, oh, so no one probably ever spells your name wrong. And he's like, well, actually they do. And I was like, oh boy. And I'm like, how do you spell your name? He's like, Sam with 2 M's. I'm like, I went on stage like, no,
you don't.
That's like, what's Sam with 2 M's short for? Sam with 6 M's? Just like Sam with 2 M. What is Sam with 2 M's short for? What could it possibly be short? Samuel.
Samuel.
Yeah. So that was
funny.
my.
I also like when people just pretend like their name is pronounced different.
Yeah.
Like when it's spelled like how everyone else spells their name and how we all pronounce it the one way.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, no, it's actually pronounced different. And you're like, no.
Yep. It isn't. Not here.
No.
Maybe up here? Not here.
Let me ask anyone else who spells their name like that how they say it.
Let's do a survey.
Let's go ahead.
But in 2020, it's how people feel.
Survey said that's so funny. They should.
Yeah. Family Feud survey says you're full of shit.
That's a funny Family Feud sketch. You do like the survey said, but is the name spelt the same way?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you pronounce this name? And then the first one, he's like Caitlin, and like ding ding, and then it's Caitlin, but like spelt correctly. And then the next person's like Caitlin, and it's like spelt wrong, like the weird ways. And then Caitlin's all of the answers. Like, but it's everyone's right when they say Caitlin.
Yeah, everyone's right. Everyone wins. Yay! Oh, that's fun. I saw this crazy. This has kind of been a sports heavy episode, but this is. We have to talk about this. It's COVID related.
Ooh.
The Ontario Hockey League.
Which COVID?
19.
Okay.
Yeah, the bad one.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. No, I've had all the other ones. They're fine.
I've had all the other ones. Yeah. One of them's sexually transmitted.
Yeah, COVID-12. You don't want to get COVID-12. You're not gonna die from it, but it's gonna be embarrassing.
Do you know? I figured out what COVID means.
What does it mean?
Okay. Do you remember when everyone was calling it coronavirus and everyone was like, "Stop calling it that. It's COVID."
Mm-hmm.
It stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019.
Nice. That's dope. That's good that it means something, and like that's very logical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cool with that.
But it's funny that people are like, don't call it Corona. It's not Corona. It's COVID. And you're like, actually, COVID stands for Corona, you dumb fuck.
In the news, they keep calling it the new coronavirus, and it's like,
well, didn't they call it? What did they call it?
I think that's what it's really called, but like
they used to
making it sound like Corona, like it's a new Corona dropping November 1st.
The novel coronavirus.
Yeah, but
so maybe it's morphed, and now that's the media's way of telling us. That's my conspiracy theory of the week.
I don't know, but anyways, so sports people are like, oh, should we play? Should we not play? Should we have fans? Should we? So hockey's decided to play. Mm-hmm. So like this story though, the Ontario Hockey League. They've decided to play their season, but with no body checking to limit the spread of coronavirus. What? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I don't like
you take face-offs out of the game. That's two guys almost face to face.
I don't like that people don't know how the disease spreads.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do to each other. It's being near people you're not usually near.
Exactly. So hitting's fine.
It could be
skating past them.
It could be touching. It could be coughing. Yeah. It could be you spit on something and then he touched it with his hand and then touched the water bottle and the guy who touched the water bottle later then took his glove off with his mouth.
That's why it's so ridiculous. Like, can you imagine a whole league being like, no body checking this year, wear a mask. I don't think they have to wear masks, but... Isn't that crazy? I saw that and I thought it was clickbait. I was like, I saw someone post it and I was like, before I react to this, I'm gonna like do a search because I don't want to get like I don't want to look like a dummy. And then lo and behold, I'm like, they've taken hitting out, and some people, I don't know. I think it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's like just don't hang out in big groups. Cover the holes of your face up when you're in public.
Cover your face holes.
And don't.
Alex said it first.
Don't hang out with a bunch of different groups of people.
Yeah, which is
because then you can.
Which is sort of like a league of teams.
Yeah, and all three are for different reasons, by the way. Like, because that's the other thing. People keep acting like because like they say don't hang out with like more than 2 cohorts or whatever, and then someone will be like, oh yeah, you can't hang out with more than 2 cohorts, but like we're all wearing masks, so isn't that fine? And it's like, no, the cohorts, the limited cohorts is to prevent mass spreading, okay? The masks are to prevent one-on-one spreading. They're two different, we're doing all of these things for all different reasons. There's a whole bunch going into this, and they're just giving you the simplified media version, which is, hey, stay away from people, don't cough in fucking people's faces, cover your damn face holes up. Any hole that is on your head, make sure it's not open to the air that other people are going to be breathing in. And then just don't hang out with a bunch of people all at the same time, because if one of you has it, you're all going to fucking get it.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. Yeah, it makes running a sports league seem like a pretty risky biz. But I couldn't believe that. Is it no hitting? It's like, yes, guys, you've made it.
You did it. You've solved the problem.
You've done it. I always knew that was the wussiest league.
Oh, I always knew that hitting was the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how COVID spreads, is through body checking.
Yeah. Bullies, if you look, actually, bullies are getting it at a higher rate because it's from hitting. When you hit someone and they go, oh, that's how you get it. Yeah. Gut punches. Oh. That's how bullies are the like 67% of the cases in Canada.
Also, when girls do that thing when they're sucking dick and they're like, it's the same.
Yeah, they also get COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's everywhere.
I don't know why I keep bringing that up. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a very sexually and sports charged
both
episode.
In this cohort. You gotta fucking, I don't know what the rules are, man. I don't know what the rules are in
girls don't
single
count for
lands in COVID times. Yeah, they probably do. I don't know. Let's call 811.
They definitely do. I told a 1-year-old not to date men like me today.
That's fair. Yeah. You can never tell them that too early.
Yeah. It was immediately after telling her that I was going to use her to help me pick up girls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
She agreed on both terms.
That's good.
She pounded it after, so.
Okay.
We're good. We're cool.
Moving on. Choose your words differently next time.
Oh, God. No. Fist bump. That's it.
I'm just saying. No, that's cool. Yeah, chicks love little people.
Yeah. Did you choose your words wisely, bitch?
Did you hear that Kanye West got to like a new level of like, I'm the best person in the world? He made a hologram for Kim Kardashian's birthday of her late father, and during part of it, the guy, her late father hologram, says, "You married the most genius man in the world, Kanye West." He got a hologram to say he's the most genius man in the world.
5 mosts.
5 mosts. I counted it out just for this podcast so I could reference that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine liking yourself so much?
Significant number of mosts to program something else to say about you to its daughter, your wife.
Yeah. Even just really. He's a good guy is like almost a bit much.
Yeah, even just mentioning yourself via hologram is like pretty fucking douchey.
Yeah, like she knows you got it for her. Like even at the like, and one more thing, daughter, this has been a Kanye West production. The Shy, baby. That would have been more acceptable than you married the most genius person in the world.
Yeah.
He talk like that. That's how like a 5-year-old would talk. I'm the most genius.
I'm the infinity most genius.
You can't. I have my fingers crossed, bro.
I can.
Like,
I'm
what a fucking world
1.
we live in.
Yeah.
People getting holograms of their dead families. What?
Oh, dude. Speaking of the Kardashian family, have you watched Bert Kreischer's The Cabin?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, dude. I watched the Caitlyn Jenner and Nikki Glaser episode today.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it's really
Caitlyn Jenner
good.
And Nikki Glaser. Okay.
Caitlyn Jenner is honest in it, which is nice, and like very human in it.
Nice.
But also like, I don't like that person. Like I don't like Bruce either. Bruce is a dickhead, and Caitlyn's a dick too. Like fuck that guy and chick.
Yeah, and I think you can have an opinion on someone's personality.
Yeah, like fuck that guy and also fuck that chick. Like the used to be guy, fuck him, and the currently woman, fuck her.
Suck.
Yeah, they're both shit.
That's a good show, though. I heard,
but like she was funny and nice and like interesting in it, but like just fucking conceited, bullshitty like.
And let's be fair, that Olympic, like whatever, was the decathlon or something? I don't know. Not even a cool one. It was a cool one. It was a cool thing back in the day. I don't really think anyone cares now.
She talks...
Jim Kerr coming for track and field.
Yeah, she talks about it like so much. Like it was like this amazing, huge sports moment. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever heard the story.
Yeah. You're like, okay. But
that's what I mean. Is like that was the whole like you're on this thing and like this guy's here to.
That's the sport where in the winter part of it they like lie down and shoot stuff.
Yeah, and she's like Olympics, I guess. She's like talking about her fucking Instagram followers and her fucking Olympic medals and shit, and it's like, ugh, fuck off.
I wonder if there'll ever be another Olympics.
Yeah.
They postponed it till next year, but honestly, they should sort of give it up, I think. It's like a way to bankrupt countries.
Yeah.
It's cool. They need to start doing the Olympics at places that already have stuff. It can't be like free run to like bankrupt your country on new stadiums.
Yeah, I don't understand how they haven't become like repurposed yet.
Everyone just they want it so that they can do a bunch of shit. So they can build a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But then have you ever seen those slideshows of like Olympic stadiums, you know, decades later?
Yeah.
They're just like the Sochi Olympic, overgrown by stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but like Calgary and Whistler have maintained theirs pretty well. But that's what I mean. Like, I'm shocked that they haven't just had them in Calgary again. Calgary's like, we still got the shit, dude. Like, just
they have a super ugly hockey rink though, and like aesthetically, I just don't think it would work. Because people be like, "Is that a Pringle?"
Yeah, sorry,
like,
I meant
man,
Whistler.
it's a saddle.
Whistler.
Whistler. That's
Calgary
better.
was a bad example.
It's
you're right.
supposed to be a saddle. Oh,
it looks like a Tampax pad.
Yeah, and a Pringle. Fuck them. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I think I might have COVID.
Oh no,
it's coming.
Is it a dry sneeze?
We'll see. No, I think it's gone. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding.
Bro, I love the internet so much.
The internet's great.
The spooky Halloween stuff this year, so funny.
I didn't see any of the spooky stuff.
I love it so much.
What
Someone
was it?
dressed up their shitty little dog. Someone had one of those shitty little dogs. And they dressed it up by like putting like 6 big spider legs on its back, basically. So it looked like a really big tarantula.
Ooh.
And then they like basically like laid down in the like elevator of this place, like kind of bloodied up, and then people like opened the door and the dog would like run out because it got excited because dog, and so it would like and then like this giant spider would just like dart at people.
You do that in my building, you're getting a letter from the condo board, son.
Yeah, you're getting a boot to your dog.
You're getting me going, I'm not going out like that, and kicking a dog that I thought was a spider. Because I'm not going out like that. I'm not getting eaten by a spider.
Oh,
that's not a way to die.
Yeah, that's not.
Killed by a spider the size of which I've never seen before.
Yeah, there's another one that like similar. I don't know why my head always goes to this, but there was one where there was like a convenience store guy, and he had like this little like roach thing that like would kind of run across the counter. And this one dude had like a pop in his hand, he like put it on the counter and it ran across. And I was like, bro, if that was me, that dude's robot is fucking squanched. Like that is just bonk. Like see you never $200 roach.
Like, yeah, no thanks.
Or whatever his little like remote control fucking.
Yeah, hope you enjoy. Hope you got some good footage. Yeah.
Sorry,
I don't mess with roaches, man. That's not my.
Yeah, but this dude had like a full ball in his hand and went across. I was like, man, how do you not just fucking doof?
I'd probably take a step back before I went doof.
That's so funny.
I'd probably be like, this is your problem, dude.
If I was putting like, because that was the reason I thought that was because he was like putting it down and then
as it happened, yeah, I would probably
he had his hand on it still, and I was like, I would have just
yeah, I'd be like, you're not touching me.
Yeah. And same with the dog. Like when it ran, I really was like, oh, my first reaction would just be like, if the doors open and this black thing started running me, I would just would have like, punk.
It's a little racist, but okay.
Well, any little.
Choose your was the title of this episode. Choose your words. Two dummies fumbling over their words.
Oh God. Two dummies accidentally saying horrific things.
Yeah, it's not what I meant. Fuck.
Buddy, come on. We sound like Trump. Like, you know, I was joking.
Oh man, that's gonna be a wild next week.
Oh yeah, the world ends next week.
That's fun. Ends on Tuesday, I think. Maybe into Wednesday. That's gonna be okay. Okay, Alex is vibing out. He must have to pee or something.
I hate that those are the two people that the
it's from. But that's often the case, right? It's two people that you were like, I'd prefer maybe neither, but there's one that's better than the other. Yeah. I just don't want to see Trump Jr., Don Jr.'s face ever again. Yeah. But I will. Oh, not in person, but it's just so smug. There's a smugness to it that I'm just like, I don't know. I can't.
I just like.
I really hope America does the right thing, and
it just feels like it's not even that neither of them is the right choice for president. It just feels like that no matter who you pick for president, it's already so far gone that they're so fucked that like the only thing that's keeping it from being fucked is that they haven't chosen the president yet. So they don't know
things might go crazy.
Which side is going to start the fucking.
Yeah.
Like that's just it. It's just which side is going to start the fuckery. That's all we're just waiting to see which side is going to start the fuckery.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's all. It's scary. And also, why is it always 70 somethings?
Every fucking time.
It always seems to be like it's crazy. It always seems to be like really, and this is not to be ageist. I don't want people thinking out there, our couple of listeners that I'm ageist, but surely, someone in their 70s isn't the best person.
Barack Obama's like 40 or 44. His like first. I know he's the youngest president ever.
Yeah, but that seems like the sweet spot.
It seemed like him and his colleagues should have been running the country. Like, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah,
like that 60, like between 40 and 65 is the people who should be in charge of our country. Because they're young enough that it's still relevant and their bodies are working and they're of working age. But they have the most experience.
The last 2 months has been a 74-year-old and a 77-year-old trading barbs about like mental slip-ups that they both made. And it's like, okay.
Oh, bro, I forget.
Okay, you're both old. We can agree on that. Let's just put, like, you're both going to say some... one of you says way more dumb, stupid things than the other. And that's, like, indisputable.
The perfect, like, example of like, how disconnected they are is, like, it was so funny. This meme made me laugh so hard. But it was, like... it was one of those memes where then like there's an additional comment on the first meme. Mm-hmm. So it's like Biden said something to Trump and he called him like some weird old like fucking English word. Or no, he said something like that's whatever. Yeah. He used some old English colloquialism that I can't even fucking remember.
Right.
And then someone like was like, oh man, Biden said blah, blah, blah. It's over for Trump. And then some other dude commented, he was like, yo, that's old white for no cap. I was like, it is.
It is.
It is old white for no cap.
You're exactly right. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
I was like, that's why I mean, like, why the fuck do we need a translator? For the youth. We shouldn't need a youth translator.
No. If you're saying old timey shit. Listen here, listen here, see? Like, no, you can't be president. Listen here, see? Maybe down at the, I don't know, enough old-timey stuff to continue that impression.
You and I might exchange blows.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. It's like,
he said he's front.
Yeah.
He's ready to throw.
If you guys got in a fight, you both might get heart attacks and die. That's the scary thing. But I don't know, I guess old people are good at running stuff.
You're going to regret your decisions.
Listen here, see? That's the next debate. If they had one more, just two fucking penguins yelling at each other.
You're a cotton-eyed ninny.
Yeah, it's like, that's probably racist. I don't know. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out.
I remember.
I'm not touching that one.
I forget what class it was in. It was either drama or English class, but we got like a list of like, it was basically one of those like internet things you see where like your stripper name is like the first letter of your last name. Find it here. And then, but it was like for old timey insults. So it was like you could pick 3 words and then we would just like match them all. It was like Shakespearean insults. It was so funny, just man.
Like eloquently chirp someone.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. And it like put it together in like the proper sentence structure for you. Like it would be like, yeah, they literally were like predicate, like whatever. There's like a sentence structure to insults, and so you were like, it was like a draw your own Shakespearean insult.
The roast game was very much more intricate back then.
Oh yeah.
Now it's still good, but it's not that.
Yeah. Now it's mostly about
someone should run a Shakespearean roast battle.
That's funny. I think they did.
I don't know enough to do.
Kind of.
Okay.
They did roast battles of history.
Yeah, but someone should do it here.
You're right.
Not me.
Did you watch roast battles of history?
I think I've seen is it like the rap? I've seen like rap battles of history.
Yeah, there's that.
But I haven't seen roast battles of history, no.
I think it was on Netflix. It might have been on Crave. I don't know, whatever. It was James Ross? No, yeah. The Roast Master General, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I feel like his last name is Ross.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He's known for...
Yeah, the Roast Master General. He does it, and it's like all these comedians dress up as like a character. And then
that's probably pretty
people dress up as other like characters and roast them.
Yeah.
Most of it's pretty bad.
Oh.
But they do the roast of Anne Frank.
Oh my God. I guess that's exactly what they would do.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the roast of Anne Frank. But anyways, Gilbert Gottfried's Hitler.
It's one of those that's a phrase that you can picture immediately if you were like from the 90s.
Yeah.
I can see that like that.
Yeah. So I forget what order it was, but Gilbert Gottfried is Hitler and Anne Frank is because you know how they do they roast one and then everyone ends up roasting each other is kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Even though it's the roast of one person. So at the end, whoever's roasting, and Anne Frank is like, oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say, hey, Hitler, not only did we get a Jew to play you, we got the most Jewy, annoying one we could find.
That guy's voice. Me. That guy's voice is insane.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Like, how do you speak like that normally?
Making a career off of having like an incredibly annoying voice.
Oh God.
That's dope. I'd like to make a career on having a soothing, nice voice.
Like Barry White.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies. Ooh, yeah. Jimmy Kerr.
Oh, I was going to burp there, but it didn't come in. Yeah. That would have ruined it.